Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina held bilateral talks with China's Premier of the State Council, Li Qiang, and a separate meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing with Dhaka's proposals for economic cooperation as well as China's support for repatriation of Rohingyas high on her agenda. And the two countries also signed an MOU on the repatriation of the Rohingyas. She held meetings with the Chinese leaders at the Great Hall of the People in the morning, where at least 20 to 22 memorandums of understandings, MOUs on cooperation in various areas, including the economic and banking sectors, infrastructure development, trade and investment, and the digital economy, were signed. Bangladesh Finance Minister Mahmood also said that China's cooperation in development and their support for repatriation of Rohingya to Myanmar would get priority from their side in the bilateral talks. He said that China had already played an important role in the country's infrastructure development. This development comes after Bangladesh could not send a single Rohingya after the 2017 exodus amidst military crackdown on the ethnic minority group in their Rakhine state by the Myanmar authorities, raising the number of forcefully displaced people sheltered here to about 11 lakh. Well, we'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator. Major General Sudhakarji, defense expert, also joins us on the show. Dr. Sandeep Tripathi, foreign affairs expert, also with us on the program. Last but not the least, Alok Bansal, director of India Foundation, joins us on the show as well. Sumit Peer, I'll begin with you. Well, it's a straightforward question, a question that perhaps is also worrying for India. And that question is Bangladesh going to be the next country that's going to fall under the Chinese debt trap?
Vineet, thank you very much for having me on your show. There are a lot of things which are happening in Bangladesh. Though our relation is at all-time best under Prime Minister Modi, we have covered a lot of ground, but things are changing in Bangladesh, which are pretty fast. I have mentioned on your program before that a couple of things I want to bring to your notice. First thing, where does Bangladesh buy all the arsenal from China? Did they approach us for the arsenal? No. Bangladesh has asked for a 5 billion loan from China, which we offered them as a credit line. They said no, they still want to pay interest and go to China. I don't know why. Point number third, a missile defense hub, a missile maintenance hub of China is coming in Bangladesh. 2022, the agreement is signed. Why? There's a port coming up in Rajshahi, opposite Malda and Murshidabad. I have flagged on various YouTube channels how that port is a national security threat and who are the players before it. Khairuzzaman Leton and his association with the UK-based Pakistani MPs and the ISI, and what are they planning? Trade-based money laundering, drug peddling, and this port will be used extensively against anti-India activities. Now, recently, 5,000 Harijan brothers, which had gone from India, their houses got dismantled. They got bulldozed in 7 days because this land had to be given to the Chinese, and they were Hindus. They were given an option: convert to Islam, otherwise we'll throw you out. Then these people asked them, where would we go, sir? Now we'll put you in a zoo. We'll put you in a zoo and we'll put a ticket so that these people can see how do the Hindus in Bangladesh look. This was given by South Delhi Municipal Corporation, and the mayor is Sheikh Fazlun Noor Taposh, and the councillor of this ward is it's ward number 33. It's Muhammad Azwal Hussain Islam. So I'm giving you the name. So this is what is happening in Bangladesh. And then MOUs with China, closing up to China. And let me tell you, who is the political advisor of Sheikh Hasina? On whose payroll he is? Inner cadre of Sheikh Hasina ji is today, compromised by Chinese. They are into her inner cadre. A lot of things don't go to her. She doesn't know a lot of things. That is what is happening in Bangladesh. And Vineet, let me tell you one more thing, which got reported in yesterday in Mint. That is 10th of July. There is an organ transplant racket happening between Bangladesh and, between Bangladesh and India. And, the nodal authorities have given a notice to a hospital. I didn't want to take a name. You can refer to the Mint, and a hospital in Noida. And one doctor, I think, has been apprehended also for that. Who is the kingpin of this? You know who is the kingpin from Bangladesh? His name is Anwarul Islam Tanasur. He is the member of the Student League of Awami League. And there is one, who is his partner? His partner is one Biplo Bora. He is again Office Secretary of Awami League. And who are his two best buddies? I think one of them is a minister also, an MP from Awami League, Jahangir Kobir Nanuk and Nadil Chaudhry. And my sources even tell me, Vineet, that these people are right now in Chennai and they're up to something. So I request authorities to look into it if these people are in Chennai and they're up to something. And this is what happened yesterday. The point here is there are a lot of anti-India activities which are happening here. And let me remind you, What did Mr. Shomitra Khan, the BJP MP, said in the parliament? They have the plan of this greater Bangladesh where they want to take 5 districts of West Bengal and get them into Bangladesh. So there's a lot of nexus which is happening between, and I am not ready to believe it is without Chinese interference. I am not ready to believe that ISI is not doing anything. This Karuzaman Leton, who though he's from BNP, right? So sorry, he's from Awami League. He's also a minister. He's a mayor of this Rajshahi. But his wife is Jamati, and he has been doing a lot of business with Jamatis. And from 1975, Jamatis have taken control of this area, which is extensively used for all India activities. And let me take you to Chapai Nawabganj. Chapai Nawabganj is the Sicily of Bangladesh. It is the place which is adjoining this Rajshahi. So if you look at all these things which are happening, don't tell me Bangladeshi intelligence doesn't know about it. Don't tell me Bangladeshi intelligence is not aware. And who is the partner of Leton? By the way, there's one guy, I can't remember his name. He was thrown out of the Bangladesh border guard for anti-India activities and anti-government activities. And he's going to be the partner of Leton, and these people are going to run this port, which is just across River Ganga. So there are a lot of things happening in Bangladesh, which we don't understand, which obviously Sheikh Hasina ji is not aware, because it is all the quadris controlled by Chinese and Pakistanis. These are some serious concerns. And I'm concerned about this organ transplant which came to us yesterday, which was in the Mint. Anybody can refer to the Mint article. It's in the Mint. Problem is that they are trying to use everything and anything what we have given them as a leverage. 2 days visit with us and 4 days visit with China. We are giving them everything and everything. They are not taking a lot of things from us. Though their flagship industry, 98% of the material comes from here. So this coziness of China is a one-way ticket, but there are some politicians, there are people who can be corrupted. China corrupts politicians. We can't do that. China bribes politicians. We can't do that. So we are true friends and brothers, and we liberated them. But today, all the anti-India activities happening from Rajshahi, from Chapai Nawabganj, and all, they're out of the Bangladeshi intelligence, lens altogether. I don't believe that, Vineet. This is too much, and this organ transplant racket which is happening. So, I gave you the names. Let the authorities verify. Are these people in India? Are they in Chennai right now or not? Have they got a visa to enter India? When did they enter India? And what is this kingpin doing in India? So these are some of the things which are orchestrated by Bangladesh. And, we have to be very careful, because look, when you look at this Malda, Murshidabad, when the people went to Bangladesh, they went to Pakistan. फिर क्या पता लगा, India partitioned it and it became Bangladesh. So they have a double whammy against India. First, they don't like India. They left from Malda, Murshidabad, went to Pakistan. Then Pakistan became Bangladesh, and they hate India all the more. So these are the people, along with Jamatis and ISI and BNP, they are bringing all the trouble from us. And it's just across our border. And Malda and Murshidabad share a border with, Rajshahi. And there's a river in between, where the port is coming up. So these are all the things, and if you look at my YouTube interviews and all, there we get more time. I've explained everything with all the proofs, how and who is connected to whom. I'm very sure that we should look into Bangladesh with a lens and microscope, because I'm sure Sheikh Hasina is not aware of that, but there are people in her cabinet and there are people in her quadri who are doing their work, who are working against India. It's a matter of concern. Before Bangladesh becomes another Pakistan, we should do whatever we have to do in our supreme national interest. Vineet.
All right, let me also open Dr. Sandeep Tripathi, Foreign Affairs expert, into this conversation. Dr. Tripathi, thank you for speaking with us. Well, apart from the Rohingya matter that concerns us, the fact of the matter is that India and Bangladesh have enjoyed, ideal relationships in the past few years. Is that going to be affected in any which way by the proximity we see between our neighbor and China?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I would like to say here that Sheikh Hasina's visit to China is not a downturn in Bangladesh-India relations. We can see that just 1 month before, in the month of June, she had visited India. Foreign visit from Indian perspective. So it is not something that Bangladesh Prime Minister visits China. It's directed against New Delhi. That is miscalculation first. Second, foreign relations do not run on the basis of this kind of speculative calculations. It runs to the basis of national interest. And Bangladesh seeks a lot of funding for its infrastructure projects. So, and let me remind you that in this visit, one minister from this delegation, he clearly stated that we are looking for China to boost our infrastructure project. So as I stated that this trip with the China is not directed against India first. And we have seen that with India, we have very good relations with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a part and parcel, is a very essential part of India's Sagar project. And we have seen that a project that Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative that was launched by Prime Minister Modi in 2019 in 14th Asia Summit. So Bangladesh joined this group. So we can say we have very good relations in terms of blue economy, in terms of defense, in terms of maritime sector. So I cannot see any kind of contradictions with growing Chinese closeness with the Bangladesh. Bangladesh is not going to close at the expense of India first. And categorically, Bangladesh made it clear that our inclination with India is political, is somehow very tested political, and economic linkages with China is somehow the commercial. So there is no doubt, there is no doubt on this point. If China offers four kinds of loans like grants and interest-free loans, concessional loans, and commercial loans, so it is very clear that Bangladesh seeks lots of funds. But yes, there is a legitimate concern. The concern is somehow debt trap policy of China. And we have seen the Sri Lanka is a model, is a case study, the kind of debt diplomacy that has been played by the China. So there is a legitimate concern being our neighboring countries of Bangladesh. But at the same time, I do believe that we have a very mature relationship, and Bangladesh understands that yes, we are the neighbor of India, and with India as a closer neighborhood policy and as a first neighborhood policy, we also put the highest priority Bangladesh, and this kind of highest priority we have seen that in oath ceremony also. So I do not see any kind of speculation. This growing closeness with the China is directed against New Delhi first, because we have very good maritime cooperation. We have very political relations, different styles, as well as this kind of speculation is beyond politics. So my view that this visit is directed for economic terms, for economic linkages with the China. It is not against any kind of India rhetoric. Thank you.
All right. General Sudhakarji is also with us on the program. General Sudhakarji, how would you look at the situation? Obviously, we've already mentioned that, and I'll reiterate that the relationship between India and Bangladesh, of course, categorically does not depend on what Bangladesh and China do, but it perhaps depends on what China does.
Vinit, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show. I'm sorry, there was a huge thunderstorm here in Jaipur, so I got disconnected. Now, fortunately, light is back, so I'm connected on a very important issue. These are my personal views. No matter what happens around the world and in China, it may or may not impact India directly or indirectly. My personal view is that these MOUs, regardless of the content of the MOUs, any kind of agreement, understanding to, beef up the economy of Bangladesh, or bring in, usher in technology, or helping in any method to enable China to penetrate into Bangladesh is highly detrimental to the national interest of India. We should guard against it. And as on today, if I remember, I have not been able to refresh my memory, approximately $17 to $18 billion have been committed on the ground. And by the last count, if I recall, there are almost about 27 projects which are under progress in Bangladesh. Major projects, flyovers, ports, national highways, railway line, and they also have gone in for the port. The port is strategic port where one submarine 3 years back had come and docked there, and it is being visited alternatively in a different time frame. Well, people, they say that we can actually landlock. You cannot landlock the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal itself is actually giving us a kind of an entry to Kolkata. The entire West Bengal will be threatened. And We are also looking for maritime connectivity through Bay of Bengal to Mizoram or people in the northeast as well. We have our the basement there in the Myanmar, and therefore what I am saying is that it has to be, even if everything is hunky-dory, looking very safe on the face of it, China at the outset cannot be trusted, should not be trusted. You must start suspecting something fishy. China is trying to penetrate into Bangladesh. It has done enough penetration into a country like Nepal. It is going hammer and tong to get into Bhutan. None of the P5 members have been given a diplomatic mission there in Bhutan. But China, mind you, mark my words, within 24 months, maximum, by 2025, and China will have an entry, it will have a diplomatic mission in Bhutan. It's going in a big way. So therefore, the strategic encirclement, which is actually we have been talking theoretically, it is manifesting on the ground. It's a security rope. We are being bundled up. The noose is around our neck. Therefore, we need to be very, very guarded. And any such kind of deals with China, they must be scrutinized by our country. And I don't know, because this is at the diplomatic level, at the nation state level, how much can we do to prevail upon the decisions made by a neighboring country. But it being the neighborhood, I think it warrants our intervention, at least the scrutiny. Anything which is to the detriment of the nation should be checked, and we should prevail upon the governance and the leadership that kindly tweak it. Otherwise, Bangladesh is going the Maldives way. There is always clarion call for India out. It's been made time and again, and it is going the Maldives way. Sooner or later, it is going to fall into the debt trap diplomacy, and India is the only country which will, try to run out of the our boundaries to help out Bangladesh and take it out. So I fear, I apprehend lots of danger lurking very close to India, because that is going to be the gateway, the shortest gateway of China to come into India in multifaceted form. Basic aim of China is not military. Its aim is to change the way of life, take advantage of the fault line that we have, the socio-economic fault line, balkanize India, cut off the seven sisters in the northeast, and actually cut off India's relationship with the immediate neighborhood. By doing that, it will be able to strategically encircle India so as to leverage and put pressure on India to toe the lines and meet the demands of the China as on today. Back to you, Vinay.
Mr. Alok Bansal, your thoughts, sir. This is obviously an important matter for India, but more importantly so, we have to keep an eye on what China does, considering how, China's relationship has panned out with Pakistan and Sri Lanka. One of them, of course, Sri Lanka, very important neighbor of ours, and Pakistan, another important neighbor, but in different terms.
See, a foreign policy is not a zero-sum game. And I think some of my co-panelists feel that if Bangladesh reaches out to China, it negates India. It's not so. Please understand, for last 13 years, China has been the largest trading partner of Bangladesh. The 13th year running when Bangladesh is the largest, China is the largest trading partner. That has really not prevented Bangladesh. And how do we control it? I think, is Bangladesh a vassal of India or something like that? With this sort of use, that's one sure way of turning Bangladesh away from India, actually. Please understand, Bangladesh is a sovereign country. Our relations with Bangladesh have never been better since 1975 as they exist today. And as long as Sheikh Hasina exists, we will have very good fraternal ties. We have had very good relations. As of now, there are 17 border crossings that have been activated. There is traffic going from India to Bangladesh. We have got transit trade through Bangladesh. We have got special economic zones in Bangladesh for India. But unfortunately, we have not been able to deliver on many of the infrastructural projects. Obviously, when it is infrastructural projects, people do go to China because their implementation capacity is much better. We have not been able to complete Kaladan to date. We have so many infrastructural projects which are held up. The fact of the matter is that China will maintain a good economic relationship with Bangladesh. Please understand, Bangladesh is a big country. It may appear small, but it's amongst the biggest countries in the world in terms of population. So it is no Maldives or Bhutan or something like that. It's a big country. You can't dictate things to Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a friend and we need to treat Bangladesh as one. And if we start looking at things and if we start inventing conspiracies, we will end up in issues where relationship between two neighbors will deteriorate very fast. So let's be very clear, they are signing agreements. Most of them are economic agreements, and a sovereign country cannot be stopped from signing any agreements. We have good relations. We will continue to have good relations with Bangladesh. As I said, despite they being the largest trading partner of Bangladesh for last 13 years, we have had good relations. It is, we are getting bandwidth from Bangladesh. We will continue to get bandwidth. Our northeastern states have got access to Chittagong port. They will continue to have. What we need is more people-to-people contact, and that will, I think, strengthen this particular relationship. That's what I feel. So I think unnecessarily getting worried that China and Bangladesh have signed an MOU, to my mind, is not correct. Bangladesh is a friend, will remain a friend, and I think it has been so for at least last 15 years, and I think it will continue as long as Sheikh Hasina survives. Yes, there is a lurking danger. There are a lot of closeted anti-India elements who have infiltrated Awami League. Unfortunately, our agencies, our missions should identify them, probably bring it to the notice of the Bangladeshi leadership, because these people are not only anti-India, they are also anti-liberation. And I think if Bangladeshi leadership comes to know, they would be more than willing to weed them out. But we shouldn't find something wrong at every action that Bangladesh takes as a sovereign state. We have actually not agreed with United States. When United States tried to sanction Bangladesh, we did not agree with it, because US has a different viewpoint. US felt that the Bangladeshi elections were not free and fair. Again, they were also partisan. They didn't find anything wrong with Pakistani elections, but had a finger to point at Bangladeshi elections. So every country looks at another country from their own personal national interest. And I think as of now, we need to cultivate. Yes, there is a very strong anti-India feeling amongst a section of society in Bangladesh. And since they are not able to do anything against Sheikh Hasina, that manifests itself in the form of India out campaign. But I think it has been handled fairly well by the government of Bangladesh, and that campaign has been scuttled to a very great extent. So I don't find any reason as to why we should get unnecessarily alarmed. Yes, they are doing it. Chinese debt trap, Bangladesh should be concerned, and the global community is seeing how Chinese debt is leading many countries too. But please understand, what Bangladesh is getting from China is still less than what we are giving it to them. So we would continue to be a priority. Geographical realities also dictate that China can never be a substitute for India as far as Bangladesh is concerned. Unlike Nepal.
All right, we've run out of time, sir. Sumit wanted to make a last-ditch comment. Sumit, you also mentioned some other information, and you spoke about some transplant rackets and YouTube channels as well. Shed some light on that.
You see, Vinny, one thing is very clear. Sheikh Hasina is on record saying that do not talk too much, otherwise the Hindus of Bangladesh will be impacted. It is covered by the media. And the racket, organ transplant racket, first of all, the 10 points which I told you, Vinny, they are substantiated facts. If anybody can dispute and tell me they are wrong, I will come and apologize on your channel. So I don't cast aspersions. And if you want to know the name of those channel, it's P Gurus, and it's Bharat Vichar by Sumit Peer, where people can find the videos. They are done around a month back. You can see all the details what I'm talking about. And the people I'm telling you, I gave you the names. If you want to give me the names again, the mastermind is Anwarul Hussab Tanassur. That's what my sources tell me. And there is one Jahangir Kobor Nanok, MP of Awami League. Then there is one Bablo Bowarwa, he's the office bearer of Awami League. And there is one more MP of Awami League who is linked with him. His name is Nadil Chaudhry. So these are the 4 people. And right now my sources tell me they are in Taj Coromandel in Chennai. Right now, Taj Coromandel in Chennai, near Apollo Hospital. So if I'm casting aspersions that the people go and see about them, the points I told you in the beginning of the program, they're all substantiated facts. If they are wrong, I'm ready to apologize. But you can be friends, you can be anything. But we don't want another Maldives to happen. We can do a lot. But we have to be very, very careful. In diplomacy, there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. If they had the largest trading partner as America, none of my problem. UK, none of my problem. They had Denmark, none of my problem. But when the highest trading partner is China, it becomes all the problem. And you know what is string of pearls. You know what China wants to do with India. You know what is China trying to do with India. So it has to become a concern. When you get a lot of things, you might get 7 good things, but 3 bad things. But if the balance becomes 7:3, that is a concern. If things are brewing in Bangladesh, we have to watch out. And we people like us can only, hint to things. There is no action we can take. We can create the awareness. The action is with the requisite authorities, and I'm sure they are looking into it. But what me and General Saab and all are trying to point out is there is something which we need to look through a microscope, because before it gets out of the hand. If it was not China, we will not be bothered. Let them do business with America, UK, anybody in the world. As long as it's not Pakistan and China, we don't have to be bothered. But if it is Pakistan and China getting to Bangladesh, definitely we need to be bothered. Because you know what their intentions are. You know what China is up to. You know what Pakistan is up to. I can't say, you have good relations with Pakistan and I'm completely okay with your good relations with China. I'm completely okay with it. No, you know what China's intentions are. You know what Pakistan's intentions are. So it is not any other country. It is China and Pakistan where we have to be concerned, and especially China today, where we get the maximum threat for. So, I'm sure our authorities are looking into it.
All right.
But the points I mentioned about Vineet, they are substantiated facts. If anybody can dispute them, they are wrong. I will come and apologize on your channel.
Yes, I'm disputing it. Mr. Jahangir Kabir Nanak is the textile minister of Bangladesh. At present, he is not in Chennai. Let me make it very clear. Second fact, organ transplant. All of them were voluntary donors. Yes, there is a racket being run by people. They are coming from Bangladesh. Both donors, recipients were there. There is a lot of rackets going on even in Sri Lanka. People are going and doing. That doesn't make them that sort of an illegal activity is going on, but that doesn't make them anti-India by any stretch of imagination. That's what I just wanted to say.
All right, okay, we've run out of time. Appreciate everyone's response to that. Sumit, quickly, 5 seconds.
Hong Kong combined are still India's largest trading partner. Does that concern us?
Vineet, I want to make one point. I have given you the names. So these people are linked to Awami League. That's the point I'm trying to make. And what about a port in Rajshahi? What about Khairul-Zaman Leton? So what are his links?
Khairul-Zaman Leton has studied in RK mission, Ramakrishna mission.
All right, so we've run out of time. We've completely run out of time. We also take a short break on that note. Be right back.